Here's how to defeat lust as a young man. So lust is destroying so many young men's lives. And the problem with lust is lust looks so good in the moment. It looks like everything you've ever wanted. Because lust is candy to the eyes but poison to the soul. It looks so good, but then all it does is drain you. And it drains you as a man. So you have to defeat your lust, because lust destroyed my life for a while. Corn addiction, all these things. So I have built a 3-step framework in order to defeat lust. 3 ways. If you accomplish these 3 things, you will never struggle with lust again. The first one, find love. A lot of these young men, or you're struggling with lust, and a lot of it is you're trying to cope, right? You think getting with that girl, you think watching that video, it's going to, replace that hole in your heart. It's going to make you feel loved, but it never will. All it does is make you feel emptier, wanting more and more and more. So you have to find love. And some things you can do to find love. The first one is just loving yourself. Some ways you can practice self-love is just be present, meditate. One thing I've done that's helped me a lot recently is just swimming, reading books, being breath work, just breathing deeply. Because when you are present, right, you go outside, look at nature. When you're present with yourself, it helps a lot. A lot of us are distracted constantly. We have this phone. We're always, consuming different things. We're never present with ourselves. So you just sit with yourself and be happy and love yourself. It helps a lot. Another thing is just finding love in another person. A lot of us, we watch this stuff in hopes of we'll feel some sort of connection, but you never do. So find connection. So many young men, they'll text me, they'll send me messages and say, hey, I struggled with lust for so long. Then I got a girlfriend and it went away. And it's like, yes, the reason why you got a girlfriend and you just naturally stopped wanting to give into lust was because you found love. You found the thing you were missing. So find love, and maybe that love's in another girl. Maybe it's with God. Maybe it's with yourself. Just find some sort of love, because love is the key to not giving into lust. The second one is you have to break the habit. So for a lot of people, when you're watching this stuff, doing this stuff for years and years and years, months even, it becomes a habit. What that means is you have an urge, then a routine, then a reward. So the urge might be you're scrolling on TikTok, a certain time of the day, 8 p.m. at night, or a certain place. You're in your room, your bathroom. That's the urge, okay? And then what happens is when that urge hits, your brain goes unconscious. And your brain's in this unconscious state where you can't even really make decisions because it's just acting naturally. That's where the routine comes in. So you get the urge, your brain goes unconscious, you go in the routine. The routine might be you have this little internal fight, right? Oh, am I going to do it? Maybe no, don't do it. And you always end up giving in. And then boom, you have the reward. The reward is you feel good, you feel relieved, you get the dopamine hit, etc. So you have to figure out, you have to firstly identify the cycle. So identify the cycle, figure out each step, what's causing that. Then you have to replace things and break the cycle. One thing that will help you identify the habit cycle a lot is using a habit tracker. You can use things like your notebook, a journal. One thing that helps a lot is the Rewired app. It has a habit tracker, so you can download bio this video, my bio, app store. But it has a habit tracker, so you can every time you get an urge or every time you relapse, you can say, okay, this is the emotion I was feeling. This is where I was. This is what time it was. And over time, it'll collect that data and say, okay, here's why you're doing it. So first, they identify the habit. Then you have to break the habit. You have to break the habit. So firstly, identify the trigger. Then you have to change the routine. So some things you can do to change the routine is just meditation, breath work. Sit there, deep breaths. Another thing that helps a lot is reverse breathing. So take a breath, close one nostril, breathe in, switch, breathe out, breathe in, switch, breathe out. You're going to notice one side feels more clogged than the other. That's normal. A healthy person, that's normal. That's what's supposed to be. But do that. What that does is it calms your nervous system. And when you calm your nervous system, naturally the urge just goes away. Because what happens is when you get a big urge to watch corn or goon or get with a girl, whatever it is, lust, is your nervous system gets overdrive, right? It's super anxious, you're stressed, you feel all these emotions. So just practice breath work. Another thing that helps a lot is light therapy. I preach about it a lot. It's pretty crazy. I've been seeing TikToks of people just recommending it to other people. I've created the words, so it's pretty cool to see. But light therapy works super well. You can use it, of course, the Rewired app. You just click it, boom, start session. Here's how it works. You do this, close your eyes, breathe. What the light frequencies do is it also helps calm your nervous system. So you combine that with breathing, you are golden. You will feel so calm, so relaxed, and your brain will naturally break the urge. That's why I say light therapy breaks the urges. So you have to break the habit, Boom. Another thing that happens when you practice this breath work, light therapy, whatever method you use, is you feel the same reward you feel from gooning, right? Or getting with a girl. You feel like relaxed, relieved. Light therapy, you feel relaxed, you feel relieved, just without, giving into the urge. So break the habit. You need to break the habit. Number 3 is find God. And finding God is, it's so true. Because if you're going through the world, we live in this society which, like, the devil runs society, right? We all know this. All this stuff's being pushed upon us. Corn, hookup culture, all these things, OnlyFans, right? You have to, when you're getting all this stuff pushed upon you, you have to just say, you know what? I'm going to reject it. I'm going to reject degeneracy. I'm going to embrace God. You have to. Because it's either you sort of give into the world and you start giving into all these worldly things, or you say, you know what? I'm not going to give into these worldly things. I'm instead going to embrace God, embrace being a man of God. So find God. Some things that help me, me personally, I'm constantly kind of wrestling with God, right? Like, does he, it's like, it's constant wrestle with, does he exist? Does he not? It's constant wrestle. Like, I feel God. I sometimes I feel so close to God. Sometimes I don't. And, I think a lot of us men, we do that. We wrestle with God, right? One thing that helps me, though, find God a lot is when I align my life to God. So I say, you know what? I'm going to be a man of God. I'm going to try to practice the things that God tells me to do. So aligning your life to God, aiming every day towards God, it helps you a lot. Another thing is just reading the Bible, man. Reading the Word, being present. I'm telling you, meditation, swimming, breathwork, these things have helped me a lot get closer to God. It's helped me be more creative, get closer to God, all these amazing things. Be more present, less anxiety. It really works. But you have to find God, because finding God is so key to all of these things. And spirituality is huge, especially for even people who have, like, drinking addictions, right? A lot of them say, okay, they found God. These are treatments. They find God and they just stop. So you have to find God. And I tell you, read the Bible, align your life to God, talk to people. One thing that helps me a lot is talking to other people. And be careful what you consume, because if you're consuming this content, which is like polluting your mind, it's going to be hard to find God. But when you put down your phone, you stop scrolling, you go outside, you sit in nature, you breathe, and you meditate, it's much easier to hear God and feel God. Because, we live in a godless society, right? We live in this lustful, worldly, degenerate society. So you have to, especially as a young man, you have to, so you don't get caught up in the loop, which will end up destroying your life. You have to say, you know what? I'm going to embrace my entire life in this message. I'm going to reject degeneracy. I'm going to embrace God. It's huge. But you really have to be careful of lust, because it's ruining so many men, so many young women, so many relationships. There's so many young men, right? They want to get in relationships. They want to find love. But a man who's full of lust can never find love. So that's why you really have to reject lust, and you really have to embrace love, because this stuff is dangerous. It's very dangerous. It's very dangerous, but I hope everyone who's watching this video, at some point in your life, you'll break free. I really hope it. It's my message. The one thing I want to do with this platform. I hope that every young man, young woman, person watching this video will break free from lust and will once in their life feel true love. Once in their life will feel the love of God. Once in their life will feel free from the chains of lust which are holding them down. They'll finally be able to break free. But understand, lust is destroying your life. Do those 3 things. Find love, break the habit, find God. It'll change your life. Reject lust, embrace love. I love you all. Thank you.